It's the good stuff. And then we get to choose who we let into our weird little worlds. You're not perfect, sport. And let me save you the suspense. This girl you met, she isn't perfect either. But the question is whether or not you're perfect for each other. That's the whole deal. That's what intimacy is all about.
Why don't you love me, Jenny? I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
So what?
So it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be really hard. And we're gonna have to work at this every day, but I wanna do that because I want you. I want all of you, forever, you and me, every day. Will you do something for me? Please? You just picture your life for me? 30 years from now, 40 years from now? What's it look like? If it's with that guy, go. Go! I lost you once. I think I could do it again. If I thought it's what you really wanted. But don't you take the easy way out.
What easy way? There is no easy way. No matter what I do, somebody gets hurt.
Would you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
On like roller coasters, you know I can read your mind. Yeah, you always seem to keep me second guessing. I've been walking a while, you got me tripping, I'm tired of.
All right, here we are, baby. We are live for the first time or the second time. Golly, how far off am I? Yes. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. Let me do something real quick while I'm doing this, folks. I'm sorry. This is so totally unprofessional. I don't know why it's not letting me do this.
Oh, our background. Yeah, it's still green. Don't you need to change that?
Oh. All right, we're still getting our. Well, what I'm trying to do
your
is.
kinks out.
Let's see. Send it back. Oh no, don't want to do that. Bring the front. Well, I'm trying to figure out why. Oh, I gotta do this. This is why. Our names weren't showing up.
Oh, they were going to get us confused.
They were going to think you, and they were going to think me were two different people. So, yeah. Plus our green screen. Yeah. Gosh.
Where's our background?
So the green screen can actually go down here, and we can kind of. What did I choose? Sorry, folks. We're trying to figure all this out right now. Blue screen. No, not blue screen. I don't know why it's not letting me now. Is it locked? No, it's not locked. Woo! Welcome to live streaming, folks. This should. Oh yeah, it is locked. No, Cam Link 4 is open. This is my Cam Link. It should be. Oh, well, what's gonna work? It's not gonna work anyway, baby.
Why?
Because I have your camera running on that screen there, and it doesn't have green screen, so they would be see green screen behind me, but not you. But we'll figure out the logistics, folks. Okay.
Yeah, we mostly blocked it out because, yesterday people were going to the bathroom behind us and kind of, I don't think they wanted to be on camera.
And now we have cats walking behind us, and I can't, neither one of us could have hid that if we wanted to. So, sorry, we are trying, and let's see, I want to test the other scenes while we're doing this. Okay, that one's working. We could have had the green screen on that one. So far, the screen's not working, but I'm not seeing any comments. You got 3 people watching, so people are watching somewhere. But this is always a test because I don't always trust, like the testing when I'm doing these things. That's why I do it first, and then we'll see. So I'm gonna hop on my own live stream here and post.
Check your Facebook too and see if anyone just recently added you as a friend, because I don't know how to share the link. Well, would it be on Facebook? Can I share it that way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay, I see it.
Is it on there though?
Yeah, I see it on there.
Okay. So I'm just testing a few things while we're trying this out and to see if the comments start showing up here. I just posted one on
I
link.
just shared it with my page, and then I'm gonna send it to.
Okay, so there's the comment. I can see it. It's showing up there. But my chat widget isn't working. Which is like, holy crap. This should work.
Yeah, where's all the chat thingies?
It should pop up, but it's not for some reason. This is why you test things, folks, and just figure. Please forgive us. We are getting back to it. And hello, Yolanda. Yolanda, just see she's watching over on LinkedIn. So we're trying to get our scenery and stuff just set up. My comments in my chat widget for whatever reason are not working. They should be.
It shows locked. What does that mean?
Oh, there it goes. Is it? I thought I saw something a minute ago. Maybe. Yes, no, maybe so. Maybe. I don't know. I just saw it for a minute and disappeared, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? That's why you got to test this, folks, and see what works, what doesn't work, because everything is showing up not like it's supposed to for some reason. It's just not showing up on my end for whatever reason. So, oh, there it is.
Okay.
I tried to comment from Twitter, but I wasn't sure if I could see it, and we are seeing it, Angelique, if you're watching over on X now. So, so you see the comments showing up there?
Really? Oh yeah, I see them.
Okay, so the Restream bot is kicking it in. We are testing out here. Sorry, we wanted to do this and test out a few things because we have been pretty active here in the last few days, getting started and doing our own couples live stream / podcast. With intentionality, we are going to be talking about love, intimacy, relationships. We kind of opened up a little bit about what we're going to be discussing yesterday. So if you didn't check that out, you can. I'm also in the process of creating a website, a LinkedIn page, a YouTube channel, Facebook page. So yeah, we're going to cover it all. That should be coming up pretty soon. So I'm going to bring up your comment anyway, Angelique. Hey. And I know you couldn't see it on Twitter. I'm sorry. I don't know. I did use it as a destination because I do have it set up, but I was just hoping to see if we could test it on all our social medias just to see how everything was working. So, what do you think, baby?
What do I think about what?
About everything, all the confusion, and just this is like her first,
I'm
like
just rolling with it.
There you go. I love that. This is like her first foray into live streaming. So
It took forever to get that intro done, though. But he was making sure it was perfect and looked good, and it's good. So I don't know if y'all saw it at the beginning, but made me cry. So it's really good intro that he created. So
yeah, and that's what I told her. That's a lot of the work, though, when people want to talk about getting into doing a live stream and they're like turning on a camera, and then you say, well, we got to do some things to like create and, put together, say, an intro or something, because they take a while sometimes because you have to create with an idea of what you want, put yourself a vision, and then put it all together and try to make it work. So we did spend some time like really working on it. But yeah, kind of been inspired a little bit to do this. This has been a passion project, like I shared yesterday. But like I saw, like what Angelique's mentioning, she's going to watch the replay. But
yes, definitely.
But the thing that I loved about it is the fact that, um, you know, we're trying this out as a couple, and part of it was inspired in seeing what you and Donnell have done with your YouTube channel, with your growth, and just being passionate about what it is you both love and share as far as like helping with financial planning. So I'm going to be reaching out to you though, because we've talked about this as well as part of our relationship discussion, is bringing in things to when you are becoming a couple to like start bringing together finances and that sort of thing when you get married, or I mean, just even being in a long-term relationship with somebody. I think that's a big thing to discuss. So, but one of the things we were doing, while what I love about my woman and what what I find so interesting is that while I was sitting here doing my work, she was sitting here next to me, doing a lot of reading into a book. I love this book. It's actually called Love, right? You want to tell them who the well, I don't know if we can say the last name. Can you say the last? Leo
Yeah, it's Leo Buscaglia.
Leo Biscaglia.
It
So
was written in 1972, but really, he was like in his thinking, especially about society and people. It's like, wow, this is so similar even to today. So, even though cell phones weren't around back then, like one of the things he talks about is how we lack interpersonal skills, even back then in the 70s, and how people didn't make very much eye contact with each other. They weren't social. He was like, just when I read that part of the book, I was like, oh my gosh, it was as if he was talking about the way I see my students now. So that was pretty interesting, but yeah, there's a lot more.
yeah, and that was one of the things that she was actually sitting here next to me reading it out aloud, and we took a lot of
Because he likes audiobooks. I like to actually read the books. I don't like to just listen to somebody like read it out. I like to actually have the old school. I'm, old fashioned, I guess. But I like to read these kind of books because I can like write on it. I can reread it if I need to. I can jot down notes, and I can look at it and hold it in my hand. So he likes audio. So I was like, well, if I read it out loud, I know that's not going to disturb him. He's going to like that. So
yeah,
I read.
and that was the cool thing, is like she was doing what she loved and reading it. I was doing what I love and taking it in through audio and listening. Like, I'm an auditory learner. I've figured that out. I learn a little bit more by listening than I do like sitting down and actually going word for word and trying to read everything. So yeah.
I like word for word.
Yeah. So we work well together. So, but one of the things that I did love, and we talked about this, is
it does have a good smell too.
good smell, good quote, just so
Mhm.
many things. But this is what one of the quotes, and I'm going to let her like read it off and share it, because I found it very poignant and really struck a chord with me when I was just designing and putting together, just creating the build out for our live stream when we start doing this on the regular. So this is the book exactly, if you want to go check it out. I love the title as well, A Warm and Wonderful Book About the Largest Experience in Life. So why don't you read a quote, baby, if you can read
Okay.
that.
Yes, I can see and I can read. Love is always bestowed as a gift, freely, willingly, and without expectation. We don't love to be loved. We love to love. If you don't like the scene you're in, if you're unhappy, if you're lonely, if you don't feel that things are happening, change your scene.
Did you hear that, folks? Change your scene. Now I'm gonna go back and take a note from her and change the scene. Go back to this one. But yes, part of it was like what we were discussing, and when we came up with a lot of the concepts and everything else. And please feel free to like add any kind of feedback, or that's kind of what I put in the comments as well. Like some of the things you might want to see changed, because we did put this together, and I will concentrate a lot more on the production build out, heading there. But one of the things that really made me inspired to like continue to want to do this is the fact that we're going to be both learning from this. I'm already learning a lot of things. I mean, I'm just going to tell you, like, even 5 minutes ago, she was reading um, something out of the book, and she like looks over at me, says, "You know what? That sounds just like you, babe." And I stopped, and it took me a second. I said, "You know what? Say it again." Started reading it again. I was like, "You know what? You are right." Like, there are so many things that I am learning about this, and it's great to have a it's great to have a partner who sees me the way that I do and is, open enough to trying out the experiences of sharing my passion, and then hopefully in turn I turn around and I get to do the same thing, put the same efforts into her passions and what she does. I try to. One of her passion projects, and we talked about this yesterday, was doing photography. So heck, early on in our relationship, we went out to a photography shoot together. It's great. I got to go help her. It was pretty awesome. I really loved like being there and being helpful and just watching her do her thing in her element. So I hope that, in turn, me doing this as
We got
well.
to travel too.
Yes, and we got to. Oh yeah, that was another great.
Yeah, I shot a wedding in Oklahoma.
But I mean, everything that we do and what it speaks is like right up our alley, and talking about love and all the wonderful things that we want to go out there and start not only learning but sharing our experiences, and then having experts and other people come on and share their experiences. So that's kind of what we're heading towards, and like even taking notes and stuff and doing stuff from the book. Um, I mean, it was so interesting. The book that we started, and I'm to tell you what, she's a fast reader because she started reading this afternoon. And
I'm like, let's see.
she was taking notes.
I'm about halfway done, so I'm not all the way done. But the like forward was so long. I was like reading and reading, and I thought it was the first chapter, but it was just the forward. But it was talking about his life and like how he grew up, and it was really funny because he didn't realize, how different he was culturally from everybody else because he was an Italian immigrant. But when he came in, like his parents believed that you would not get sick if you wore a garlic around your neck. And so every day he's like going to school wearing this garlic, and he's like, he never got sick ever growing up. But he said it was either because people just didn't want to be around him, or what it was, but he never got sick. But the way that he learned to love was very with physical touch. And so he didn't understand when he was at school that he couldn't be close physically to anybody. So like teachers and even other parents of other kids would go tell his parents, like, you need to keep your son under control. Like, let him know he cannot be hugging on my kid. Like, he can't be doing that in school. There's no hugging, there's no kissing. And so his parents had to teach him, like, you can do that at home in private, but you can't do that in public. That is not how you show love outside. You have to learn other people's cultures, and you just can't do that. So he learned, how to navigate that, but it took a while because he was very confused growing up because that's how he was taught love. But this book is great. Like it basically talks about how love it's not something that you're born with. We don't come out just knowing what love is. We're taught love. We're taught, and I know there's that book, The Five Love Languages. But I remember reading that book, or I didn't read the book, but I took that test to see what my love languages were. And so I figured out some of them, and they've changed over time. And that's the thing about love, and what he talks about in the book is that love can change. It grows. It doesn't stay the same. So just because you might think that this is your love language because of how you were raised, that can change through time, and it can change with who you're exposed to, who is around you. So for a while I thought that physical touch wasn't my main love language. And being with Gabe, like I've learned and grown in love with him and realized that I'm like, he's like, and I'm like, and we show all the love languages. It's not just one. So we're not like, oh, we're just physical touch, or we're just, the acts of service. We're like all of it. And so, that is possible with love. And love is not just something that just stays there. Like it has to grow. So that was one point that he stresses, like throughout what I've read so far, is that love is a growing thing. And he doesn't believe that you just fall into love. Like, you already have the love. And so it just grows from there.
And, you know, one of the things that I really thought about whenever she started talking about that was in my past relationships, especially when I was younger. You
want to come on camera?
You have.
My daughter just came home. She's like, "What are you doing? Come here."
You know, we talk about love, right? And how young we are sometimes and not quite understanding what love is. So
that's my baby, Skylar.
So we do. Hey, I'm going to tell you, we make this a family affair around here. So it's not one thing, it's another. You know, you want to go around?
Are you trying to show your belly?
Oh, she's actually
trying to show her baby bump.
yes,
I'm going to be a grandma. That's her boyfriend in the back.
Yeah, look how handsome he is. Very handsome young gentleman. But yeah, I mean, honestly.
Look, you're getting comments.
Hi, Skylar. Yes, you are. They're saying it. Saying
Skylar.
hello to you. Of course. Gosh, Yolanda, you're watching on YouTube and LinkedIn. Thank you so much for doing that. That's kind of awesome. You're tuning in and watching on both channels. But yeah, I mean, when we talk about love and just knowing ourselves, and as we're growing up as adolescents and understanding what love is, you know, most of the time when we do fall in love, it's very early on. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. So I think when we're looking at it from the perspective of love now, as we are older in our age, I'm not going to say our ages, but as we are older in our age, we are learning more and more about ourselves.
Why are you scared?
I'm not, well, because I'm about to be a half a century, so and that's not, you know, that thing's going to be coming down the horn pretty quick.
You can watch us on Facebook, Skylar.
Yeah, watch on Facebook or YouTube.
If you need to go sit down or lay down, you can watch us on Facebook.
So yeah, I mean, I'll get y'all on if y'all want to come on. I got a microphone if you want to say hello.
You want to come talk?
Come here, grab this microphone. There's a microphone right here.
You can talk about what you think love is.
Absolutely. Grab this microphone. Come here, right here, right in front of the TV. You have to be on camera. Look,
y'all know you want to be TikTok famous.
You're already TikTok famous. You're on TikTok.
Videos.
I mean,
you have one that went viral. Come on.
Oh yeah, he's got a viral TikTok video. That's done something I've never done. And yes, half a century is an accomplishment. So yes, being half a century. See? Look, say that again.
Say that on the mic.
Say that on the microphone.
Here, grab the mic right there.
Listen to that. Did you hear that?
See
that right there on the little stool right there. Grab
the
that microphone. Just grab it and talk into it. They can hear you. I promise.
Without love, life is meaningless.
See?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. We love that.
Oh, here comes Lucas.
Listen, love is the only thing worth living for.
See?
Okay.
There you go. Look at that. And these are the younger generation.
These are some lovebirds right
These
here.
are lovebirds.
Young lovebirds.
So that's
true, Skylar.
See? It's true. So yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of what we're going down this journey together and bringing as many people as we possibly can, because again, love is all encompassing. And I think that's part of the journey of why we're doing this together, so that we can learn, share love. We can, the struggles and difficulties. I mean, come on, you guys have, how old are you? And you got, everybody has difficulties. Come on, that's just part of being in love and having a relationship. That's why I'm going to talk to Angelique, because we want to have her on.
Yolanda said, what is Skylar's boyfriend's name? Lucas.
Can you spell that?
Lucas. What?
Lucas.
Okay, Lucas. There you go, folks.
He's probably going to look him up on TikTok.
Yeah, go look him up on TikTok. He's got a TikTok. You can follow him.
Yeah, he also goes by Lulu.
So
Lulu.
We're a social media household too. We're doing this as well, and you know, I want so many people that we are connected with. We're going to do like live in-person interviews as well, is one of the things that I'm going to be approaching this year that I haven't done in my past. So it's nice to meet you. Somebody wanted to say nice to meet you, Lucas.
There's some people watching.
On different channels. So yeah, we're here. People are watching. It's just kind of late.
Yolanda said me.
Me. Yes, nice to meet you, not me you.
Oh, me.
Yeah, those fingers are those little keyboards on your phone. What you probably watching on is very, very small. But yeah, what I was just going back to real quick, that is what we are going to start doing here in the next couple of weeks. My next week will be spent pretty much doing more of the production build out, getting all the information. We are going to have like experts on, so we are going to reach out to dating experts, to intimacy experts, just relationship experts in general, people who are that is like in their careers and what they do, because we do not only just want to add our own introspective look on what love is, but then also get a professional, someone who that's their career. I know a matchmaker. I'm going to reach out to her, see if she wants to come on and talk about. She already does a podcast, so I'm pretty sure she would be very open to it. But yeah, that's going to be a big part of it, is the thing that, I really want to be very thorough about this project, because like I said, it has been a passion project, and, it's something that I love and maybe not quite always understand,
Yeah, love, especially in the book, is really, really essential. So essential that if a baby is born and not held and fed, given nutrition, but never held, never loved, will die. Most babies don't survive past the age of 2 or 3 if they're not shown love. Love is something that is essential. They've done multiple studies on this. They have studied orphanages. They've done so many studies on it. And yeah, a baby will die without love. So another thing that they talked about in the book is that a lot of times people crave it. So people crave love so much that they're willing to lose their identity, who they are, just to give in to the needs of somebody else, just so that they're not alone and so they can find intimacy. So they will lose themselves in it. And then some people are so afraid to give up their heart that they never even truly fall in love either. So there's lots of parts of the book that are very deep. Like it was a good book so far.
So yeah, we got a lot of things that we're going to be putting into practice for ourselves. This is what part of this journey is to put a lot of these things that we're learning, that we're reading, that we're going to be discussing into practice, into our own lives.
And that's what it said. Like, it said you can't just read about love and talk about love, but never actually experience it, do it, ask the questions, and put it into practice. Like, that's not love. That's not learning about love. Like, you have to go through the actions as well. So it's not just reading about it.
Just saying hello to Dr. Constance Leland. Hello, CJ. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. But yeah, that's and one of the big things that when we talk about not just love in general, but then we're going to also go along the lines of seeing the things about intimacy, financial discussions, because as you know, we're even talking about this, and this is why it's pretty important, because as we become a unit of one, we're going to have to discuss those sort of sometimes difficult topics, and
we need outside help.
Yes, we do. That's why we're gonna reach out to the
'Cause
Stidhams.
I know that's one of the number one reasons for divorce is finances. People, it's money. Communication, money issues can lead definitely to divorce. And yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's why we're gonna reach out to the Stidham household. They host their own live stream talking about financial growth, literacy, retirement. There's just so many things that they talk about, and I think this is one of the things I would love to discuss with them because it's pretty crucial to a relationship and understanding where you are financially and how that impacts your relationship with somebody and whether or not you're going to struggle or you're going to find growth.
I like that somebody just posted.
Oh, what did they say?
Okay, so how do you balance love versus spoiling a child? I have read it. It is bad to pick up a baby every time they cry. They begin to learn this is how they get attention. I hate it when people say that. And I have told my students over and over, because we talk about this in class as well. If a baby cries, pick them up. Find out what's wrong with them. It's not okay to let a baby cry themselves to soothe themselves. That is not okay. So that basically can mess up their attachment issues, because when a baby is a baby, and this is by Eric Erickson, who is a psychologist that studied this, and it's basically they're in this stage called trust versus mistrust. And if they don't learn that they can trust the person that's taking care of them, they're going to fall in this stage of mistrust. They're not going to trust you. They're not going to trust that you're going to be there when they need you. So no, you should, if a baby's crying, you should check to see what is going on. And it is okay to comfort them. It's okay to love on them. You cannot spoil a baby. You cannot.
See, look at that. So, God, she's like that. That's why I fell in love with her. She's like, she's so intelligent, and not that I'm not. I'm just saying that she's got.
Oh, he's super smart.
You know,
Big.
but
I won't
yes,
say it. I was about to say
yeah.
something.
But Angelique,
Other
yes.
people might be watching on
Yeah.
Facebook.
So Angelique, we'd love to. So I will reach out to you. And just a quick shout out, if you don't know, go to her YouTube channel, or excuse me, their YouTube channel. It's self-directed.
Yes, Angelique. What we've been told is BS. I totally agree. It is. I hate it when people used to tell me that too, because I had a pouch. Like, I carried my baby everywhere. Like, she was always stuck to me, always holding her. And people were like, "Oh, you're spoiling her. You're spoiling her." Well, I did it with both my babies. My baby over there, Skylar, that came in. Oh my gosh, she will cuddle with me and hug on me and love on me, and she's 24 years old. I taught her physical touch and affection, and she is an amazing individual. Like, that child is talented. She is smart. Like, she is so. Oh my gosh, she's just so amazing. And I carried her all the time, and no, did not spoil her.
Right? Trust me, there becomes a point where that detachment comes into play. But again, we got to save some of that good ammo for for later topics of discussion, because we're going to have plenty of things to discuss over the next couple months while we're putting this together. So, but yeah, we really wanted to touch on a lot of the bases of where people struggle in, their marriages and even having long-term relationships. And that's one of the things. Oh, that's so true. I love this comment. It's also why we release hormones when they cry. We wreck our nervous system when we reject that. Mm-hmm. Smart, folks. I've lost my train of thought. About what we wanted to, going further and what we're actually planning on. Because I think one of the things that I struggle with a lot, and why this project is something that I've been very passionate about, is because I had my own issues with understanding love. I struggled with it a lot because I didn't know, first of all, how to love myself, then eventually how to love a partner. So those were both like things that I really had to go undertake as far as like how I wanted to grow and whether or not I was going to find what was going to make me happy. And I think a lot of the things that I had to go through led me to this point. But as far as what we want to continue to do, that's part of the process as well. Is like, I don't know everything. I'm not an expert on love. Um, what I am an expert on is just digging deeper and inquiring and asking questions that help me come to an understanding of things. And I think that's one of the things I want to carry on going further in what we're about to undertake, because this is a big part of who I am and my journey. So there you go. Just wanted to share that. And oh gosh, don't worry, baby. This is
Yeah.
this is a Twitch. Since we're streaming on Twitch, this is a. But hey, you're not anything until you go on Twitch and you get a troll bot over there that sends you messages. So that's just normal. Just it's part of the conversation.
Yeah, I don't think it was an accident either, Yolanda. It was definitely fate. It was definitely God, like, no doubt. Because, I mean, once we started talking and just listening to each other, I was like, oh my gosh, like, there's really a person like you that exists in the world, because I was not planning on getting married. I didn't want to be with anybody. Like, I was already making plans for my daughter to live with me for the rest of my life. I wanted Skylar to move back in. I wanted my daughter Naomi. She was 5. I was already talking to her about, yeah, when you get older, baby, you can still live with mommy. Uncle Russell's gonna live with me forever. It's my brother. And I told my brother's girlfriend, I was like, yeah, just to let you know, if you fall in love with my brother, I'm a package deal, so you're gonna have to move in with me at my house, because my brother's never leaving me. He's gonna live with me until we both die. So, like, I wasn't making plans to be with anybody. So, yeah, it was definitely not an accident. Like, I believe it was God that put us together, and so my brother could finally have his own life one day.
Yes. But oh God, I'm remember crutch words. I catch myself doing these
Were you
things.
thinking about a butt?
No, but using using the
See, you say
word.
butt.
I'm trying to again get into practice of not using crutch words, because it's easy to, especially when you're talking and you. It's been a while.
Is that one of yours too?
No, it's just one of those words you kind of throw in there. It happens. I try to consciously not allow myself the moment. It's where I have to stop and think a little bit and give myself a break before I start talking again, even though I have an issue with silence, and I know this, and we talked about this actually last night.
I know. When I asked him questions when we first started talking, he would talk and talk and talk, and like one question, like he would talk in paragraphs for like I don't know how long, until I finally was like, okay, like but it was good, because I was like, I'm glad he's a talker and just doesn't say one word, because a lot of those guys online, you'll ask them a question and it's like, yeah, the Cowboys. I mean, that was it. You know, nothing else. It was just one-worded answers. So I was glad he was long-winded, but yes, he does talk a lot,
Yeah,
which is good.
You got it's
But
like
but he's quiet too sometimes, and so am I. So we enjoy our silence times as well.
yeah.
So.
It's like when you're writing a document and you got to have too many words on one page and you need a page break so that you can go to the next page. That's kind of how I have to do in how I speak. So it's a work in progress, but it's like everything in our lives, everything we are constantly trying to juggle and just make ourselves better. And that's what this whole project is all about. And
helping other people. Like that's a big thing, because I know I struggled with trying to find the right person that fit with me. And I know so many people struggle in relationships. So many people struggle in the relationships that they're in. They're like, they stay together and they're not happy. They'll stay with the same person for years and they're not happy. And it's like, why? Why are you still in that situation? Why don't you change? Why don't you do something? Why don't you spark up that marriage? Why don't you make a change? And so, you know, doing this, I was like, yeah, that's going to help people. And that's something that's my passion. That's why I'm a teacher. I've been teaching for 14 years. And some people are like, bless your heart. I don't know how you do it. Bless your heart. And I'm like, this is my best job ever. This is the best job I've ever had in my entire life. I've done everything from customer service to being on the phone in a call center. I've worked for a pager company. I worked for Glamour Shots. I did photography full time. I worked for a computer company. So I did like so many different jobs, and teaching has been by far my favorite because I can help students. I can be there for other people, and it makes me happy to help other people. So yeah, when he started talking about it, and he was like, before I met you, I had this vision that I was going to do, my next show on love. And I was like, oh, okay. And so we started talking about it, and I was like, wow, this sounds like something I would don't mind helping you with. And so yeah, it's a great topic, and for the fact that, like, yeah, he said he loved me in 2 weeks, right, in the beginning, and I loved him too, but it was like it wasn't the love that it is now. And so, especially reading in the book, it's like you don't just say I love you and that's it. Like, love grows. And so we talk about it, and it's like, man, I love you even more today. I love you more today than I did yesterday. Like, I love you more. And so it just keeps growing and getting bigger. So that's how love can be, but not everybody understands love.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people are happy in their situations.
And that, and what I said, and when I said it to her, like, I learned that I could be that vulnerable and be okay with saying it. And that's one of the things that I wanted to discuss with not just myself, but other individuals, like, yeah, especially in couples and marriages, like, who was the first one to say it? Like, is it always the expectation that maybe the guy says it first? Is it the woman that's their intention to say that I love you first? I mean, I think that's a scary cliff that both individuals, when they look at it, go, okay, I don't know who's going to be the first to jump, but I'm going to watch.
That's a good topic, because we can talk to my brother and his girlfriend about that one and our own stories. Because, yeah, I was with a guy one time for 3 years waiting, and he never said, I love you. And I stayed with him for 3 years. Oh, and that comment, Yolanda, oh my God, that cracks me up. So did you see that?
Yes, I actually had it on screen. I was waiting for you to look at it.
I didn't see it at first. Yeah, usually it's the mama the girlfriend has to worry about. But you know what? She was a trooper, man. She stayed my friend. She hung out with me. We were actually getting our nails done when I told her that. She hung out. We have talks. Like, she is an amazing person for sticking with it. And so I'm like, boy, you better tell her you love her, because, like, this woman is good. And, like, she's even willing to move in with us. So, yeah, you better say you love her.
That's right. But, yeah, that is a topic, again, it's a sticky one to say, like, who says it first, who was the first one to make the move. Because
people are scared of getting their heart broken.
Yeah, that's being totally vulnerable is quite a superpower. Like, my good friend, Mr. Carl Sean Watkins, always said, he calls himself Mr. Vulnerability. He's like, yeah, you got to be open to it, or else you're just roommates.
Oh, that's a good man. I don't know where this person keeps getting their advice from, but that is not a good. That's not good.
I was told.
Because
let me
here's
read that.
the thing.
Let me read that first. Though he says,
okay, read it.
It says, "I was told in order to be truly in love, you need to have offspring together, or else you're just roommates."
Wow.
Wow, that is wow.
Yeah. So, like, we've talked about it, and we're like, man, if we got together when we were younger, we'd have so many babies. So many. But yeah, unfortunately we didn't. So we're in our 40s, and we decided not to have any kids together. So yeah, I'm done. So my last one she is 5 years old. And I had her with her dad, who I thought when we had the baby, like, we were going to stay together. Like, I really thought we were going to stay together. We were going to have, grow up, but that didn't happen. Our love grew apart. And so I didn't stay with her father, and we ended up getting separating and getting a divorce. And so I didn't think that I was going to I thought that too, because I waited. I mean, I literally told myself as a kid, when I grow up, when I get married, I'm gonna have a family. I'm never going to get a divorce. And so I thought when I had a child, like that bonded us. Like we definitely weren't gonna break up. But she was 1.5 when we first separated. So no, children can sometimes change things in a marriage. But we grew apart, we got divorced. And when I found Gabe, I was like, okay, I think we were made for each other because now I don't have to have babies to feel like I exist. And so I felt like I was an empty nest. That's why I had another child, because I was like, my baby's growing up. I need another one. I can't just be at home and like not have kids. And so when I found him, and I was like, wait a minute, so my kids can leave me and I'll be okay.
Okay, yeah. Right. Now we got to.
Now I'm in love. Like, I'm okay. Have a life. Like, find love yourself. Like, yeah, I was okay.
Look at this.
it.
Look at this comment that Angelique had. I love this one. She says, I told my brother-in-law that I pick his girlfriend as my sister-in-law, so you don't mess it up. Wow. Well, hey, you don't get to choose. Sometimes you don't get to choose who your direct family is, but hey, you can pick the outliers to come in to your tribe.
You can have
your
an
group.
influence.
There you go. And then Yolanda, thank you for sharing that. I love that. It's good to see you so happy. You've always been a fun guy, but Yvette Richardson seems to bring out the best in you. Yes, she does.
Thank you, Yolanda.
She truly does. She's brought me to another level. So this time that I go out and start doing these things, you're going to see a lot of the influence that she's had on my life. So yeah, things will be different.
Oh yeah, we went to a party today, and this guy was like, "You want a beer?" And he said, "No, I'm good." And he's like, "Oh, why?" And Gabe was like, "Because I'm on a diet." And he was like, "That's why I don't get married, because I don't want no woman telling me I have to be on a diet." And he was like, "I made that choice myself. I want to be on the diet. I don't want to drink." And it's like, there's some guys out there that think that a woman might possibly control them, so they have this fear of, I guess, being in a relationship with somebody that has anything to say.
Exactly. Like you're not allowed to have your thoughts or opinions, and
you sit down.
And it really took me back to thinking, oh my God, there's still that chauvinistic machismo that still exists in this world, and it really made me think, like, man, I have really grown. I've grown a lot, because hearing that all the time when you're a male and you think, oh, don't let your woman control you, you're going to do this or that. That's where the immaturity level when you're that young kind of plays into your mindset. And as you grow, you start seeing the realities of what a true partnership is, and having that person in your life that is not a controlling entity. They are actually a thing that helps you elevate. I mean, that's the best part of it. You help each other, lift each other up. And I didn't.
You want a pepper?
You want a pepper? Oh yeah. My future brother-in-law brought me peppers.
He brought us peppers. He was like, "Y'all should
eat them
live."
So I'm gonna take a bite just to I don't know.
Pretty good.
It does taste like a bell pepper, but kind of.
It's spicier when you get towards the middle where the seeds are.
I'll hold off on that later. Oh, but yeah, that the whole point of why we were having so much fun and why we were ready to do this is because I took some time off last year from live streaming and being active on social media because I wanted to invest my time once I found this amazing woman in my life in learning to grow in love with her. And we both started getting excited when we started talking about this, a couple of months ago. We actually talked about this and planned out this a few months ago, and we put it on the back burner because I think we both weren't ready to say, okay, I want to jump in and just start doing this yet.
Plus, I was having to write 16-page papers for
Oh,
my
yeah, for your-
classes, so yeah.
Yeah, she's still going after her master, so that's kind of
Yeah, my next 2 classes are coming up. Oh, that's funny. Yolanda said, in a good way, Gabe can be your baby.
yeah.
Yes, I call him baby, so yeah. And what was the next one?
So this one is Gabe saying he's truly okay with his family's last name legacy ending with him.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what? Let me talk to this because I always talk about legacy. It was one of the questions I always asked in my previous shows. So if you never watched any of them,
He doesn't know. They don't know that you have kids already, though. He does have 4 kids.
I do have 4 kids.
Mhm.
And even if all my kids were daughters and they got married and had to take on someone else's name and I would be fine with it. My legacy isn't in my last name. My legacy is in what I create and what I share into the world. Sometimes it's not a human being or an individual. Sometimes it's the lasting impact and the things that you share in your life that are part of your legacy. How do you say that things about like Mahatma Gandhi and Mother Teresa, who never had a child? She spent her life dedicated to other people in service. So I think when it comes to legacy is just one of those things that is kind of set on what your individual preference is. So I am not defined on whether or not I have more kids. Yeah, you know what? I have kids. They will be part of my legacy going forward, but it's not just what I create for them. It's going beyond that. It's making an impact beyond my days on this earth, and that's how I see legacy. So, yeah, I would be okay with it if I didn't have kids, 100%, without a doubt, to be honest, if you want to know. All right. But, you know, I didn't get to answer it because I was answering that question, but in a good way, Gabe can be your baby, yes. I love being babied right now. I do. I really do enjoy it. It's like I tell her all the time we have a couple of cats, and when she like rubs the back of my head or something, and I was like, man, if I was a cat right now, I'd be purring so much because it feels so nice. It feels nice to be babied and loved, and that's part of my love language. I knew that very early on that physical touch was a huge part of how I communicate. A lot of guys are like that. If you don't know that is a big thing for a lot of us is touch. So yeah, I mean, getting that kind of attention, it's amazing. I don't know who wouldn't want it.
It should be for everybody, but it's also how you were raised. And then it's, you know, I guess if some people give in to it and realize like it's part of intimacy. So yeah, it's definitely what you're influenced by as you're growing up as well. Cause some people are pushed away by their parents. They're told, just get away. Like, I don't want to hold you right now. I don't want to hug you right now. And they're pushed away. So they learn that that's not something that another person wants. And so they in turn don't express that type of feeling when it comes to love.
There you go. I mean, listen to that. I mean, that's why I said this is going to be fun because I'm going to be working with a partner, and I haven't been the best at that. I'm just going to be honest. I haven't been the best at it. So this is again part of the learning curve for me as well, like how to get better at doing this and allowing somebody else into the creative space that I've been so used of by myself, like trying to do. And like, I think it's getting better. Like even today when we're creating the intro, I'd always ask her, reach over, what do you think? Like I want her thoughts, her feedbacks, because this isn't just about me. Yeah, I know a lot of the things that I'm creating here, but as time goes on, she's going to get more familiar with it. And yeah, you're going to see more of her interjections of what she wants to see created as well, because this is a joint project. This is 2 people doing this, not just me. So good.
Are there any other questions, any other comments, anything else about love?
Yeah,
Or about the book?
or anything else? Because as we go forward, like I said, part of it's going to be creating a lot of the social media, which is kind of my thing to put together. I've done a few of these in the past, so I might as well just do it all over again. But we want to be able to have an avenue for anybody who's watching or want to drop in comments or share this with anybody else to be able to reach out and communicate with us, so that if we wanted to say bring on an individual who might have a question or might want to share a topic that needs discussing. So, yeah, we're going to be open to bringing in a lot of the individuals in the community that we hope to build around what we're going to discuss. So,
Yeah, like one of the topics is navigating the dating world. And so I know that and we were talking to actually our preacher the other day. And he was talking about how he can't believe how so many people keep trying to
catfish.
catfish, like using his picture. And so there's like dating profiles set up with his picture. And so I went up to him and I was talking to him about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy that people keep using your picture. And he's like, I know. And he goes, I don't know how people even get on the dating world and like get on these dating apps. And we are like, oh, well, that's how me and Gabe met. And so he's like, really? So just the dating scene has changed so much. And I remember when online dating first started, it was back when I was in my 20s. So it's been around for at least 20 years. So when the internet came out, like websites such like Match.com was one of them, and eHarmony came out over 20 years ago. And I remember joining the sites, and they would have like 7 days for free if you sign up with your email. So I'd sign in with my email, and then I would make a whole new email account so I'd have another free 7 days. And so I learned how to work the system to keep on the dating site for free for and pretty much indefinitely. You just make new email accounts. I don't do that anymore. I found out 20 years later. So when I got on it again, it wasn't on the internet. It was on your phone. So you had to do the phone apps. And so when I did it, I was like, oh, you can't get anything for free. And so I found the only one I found for free was
Dating.
the Facebook dating. So I did that one. And then I was talking to my brother about it. And he's like, well, I met my girlfriend on Hinge. And so that's why I decided to download Hinge. So I met several people, then I shut it down for like 6 or 7 months, and then I opened it back up, met a few more people, and then I met Gabe. But it's like you have to sometimes kiss a lot of frogs until you find the right one. One of them I kissed like a lizard. His tongue was like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that one was crazy. But yeah, you meet a lot of different people, and it's not going to be the very first person you meet. Like you have to talk, you have to get to know somebody, and you have to figure out if that's like the person that you want to continue a relationship with. But so many people struggle, and not everybody is good and decent online. So you have to go through a lot. But yeah, one of the topics will be just
Oh,
navigating the dating.
navigating the online dating world, because it is such like I jumped into it a couple years ago when I got out of my last relationship, and um man, it was a kick to the face. It was that splash of cold water um that I didn't quite know what I was getting into. So yeah, it took a lot to figure out how to build out your dating pro. I mean, there's just so much to it now. We're gonna. I've reached out to a few dating experts, and we're gonna have them on, and we're gonna talk about some of the things for people who are trying to get back into the dating scene. I mean, there's just been so many things that are always changing and shifting, and technology is one of them. So, yeah, and that's true. I mean, I think that's the good part about it, Yolanda, is just that it gets a bad rap,
It
but
does.
it proves that you can be positive, and there's a rewarding experience for finding love, and that's true. And I think that's why we want to talk about it and explore it and give people options. Um, oh, we got another question here from our friend over on Twitch. So do you believe in the term tough love? As defined by being passionate or humiliating. Oh God,
Humiliating in order
to get your point
to get
across.
across.
To protect a loved one's potential bad decision.
No. I remember my mom used that on us when we were kids. She was like, tough love. So she would like do things and like, yeah, she had learned about that back when I was a kid. And it didn't work so well for me because for a long time I did not like my mom. I did not want to spend time with her. And I love my mom. I love my mom now. But yeah, it took a while. It took a while for me to like grow in love with my mom because my mom tried that with us and yeah, no, I don't like it.
Yeah, there's something to letting them have. And we heard our pastor talked about this in a sermon about people having to face consequences.
Yeah, now if you're talking about that, then yeah, I totally believe in letting a child face a natural consequence. But that's different, I think, than the way they talked about tough love, what my mom like
Yeah, I
practiced with
think that's
us.
a different in as far as in terminology of like when you're child rearing and doing things like saying, "Oh, we're gonna," the only way to discipline them is using a belt. That's the old school way, and beating a child or whatever. I don't think that always works. Um, I've heard stories, and we even have had discussions with individuals um, who talk about having a strict military father who was into tough discipline and being rough on their children, and it turns out that it wasn't what worked for them. Um, each child or each individual that comes into this world, they have different ways of communicating and how they learn and how they reason, and it's not always through being tough on somebody. Yeah, sometimes you do have to give the squeaky wheel a little more grease. You do have to pay attention. Sometimes that's all it takes is for somebody to get a little bit of attention because they don't want to go the route or they're not accepting of the tough route, the tough love route. So
I think you have to show them caring love, even when they don't show it to you. So I have a tough child. Like my child sometimes throws the nastiest fit, sometimes hits me, sometimes says she hates me. Not Skylar. Skylar was very different. So I had children on different ends of the spectrum. But with my youngest, like she is much more difficult. And I think that God allowed me to have her when I was older and wiser, because I don't think I could have handled her in my early 20s like when I had Skylar, because Skylar was so easy. But with my daughter Naomi, she's 5 and she's like that sometimes. And so I show her that I'm going to love you no matter what. You say you hate me. I'm like, well, I just love you more. Like, I'm never going to stop loving you just because you say that. Those are just words. And I know you don't mean it. And so eventually, like, she has to calm herself down. We've been practicing breathing techniques. Once she's calm, she's like, Mommy, I'm really sorry. And you can tell, like, she is sorry. She's like, I don't know what overcame, and it's because she's only 5. She's still learning her emotions. She's learning how to channel them, how to, execute her emotions. And not every time she's going to do it perfectly. And just like an adult, I mean, adults have meltdowns like crazy. I've seen some adults go off on people at stores. I've seen adults go off, with road rage. There are so many adults that act like 5-year-olds sometimes because they never learn these skills. They haven't learned how to calm themselves down. And so, yeah, she might hit me now. She might say she hates me, but I know she's not going to do that forever because she is learning. And so every day gets better and better. The more sleep and food she eats, like that helps calm her down. And then talking things through when she's calm. So those are ways to show them love, and you have to model it. That is the most important thing for a child is you have to model love. You have to show them what it means to be loving and to be caring, to be considerate, to be kind, how you treat another person. Because if you are rude and you are unkind and you are mean or, you're just talk bad about people. Whatever you do in front of your children, they're going to be your little mini me's. They're going to copy you. They're going to do exactly what you do. Little kids learn so much faster on how to be socialized in the world based on what they see. They learn it through modeling. And so it's not being tough on them. It's showing them how to behave. It's showing them how to love by modeling it yourself. And that's why it's so important, especially if you're in a marriage, in a relationship, to never show that violence or that arguing and bickering in a mean and hateful and spiteful way in front of your kids. Like, that is the most horrible thing to do. Horrible thing to do in front of your children. Like, you have to show that and that person that you care and you love them. You cannot show hate in front of your kids, because that's where they learn hate from, is from you.
Yeah, man. But thanks. That was a really good question. I think that's a subject that maybe we touch on at some point, because there are different aspects of love, and that's one of them when it comes to tough love, discipline, that sort of thing. So I'm going to make a mental note of that and maybe add that at some point down the line to the different discussion topics that we've been looking at. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. It's already been an hour. Gosh, it flies by pretty quick, doesn't it, baby?
It does.
Faster than you even know. Trust me, I've done enough of these to know that an hour goes by pretty quick, and people...
I know. I wanted to start this so much earlier because I know probably more people would have tuned in if we had started it earlier.
Yeah.
But, we're still new at getting everything set up.
And the practice. It's like anything, guys.
It's practice.
It's practice to get better. That's a part of it. I've always been one to say, put in the reps, do the things, get your chops in.
But I do like all the questions that are coming in. Very deep and insightful questions that we're answering. Like, I love it.
Good. I mean, Twitch showing out tonight. Our Twitch stream is pretty.
And they're coming from Twitch?
Yeah, that's Twitch. So I'm streaming on YouTube, Twitter.
Yeah, because it just says so that's how I.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like their It's kind of crazy, but we had a few Twitchers like come in. That was another one that like throw in their stuff, but we know that there'll be more. We'll get more viewers and people to tune in. Trust me, I know the secret sauce, how to build a following and how to build a community. So I'm not so worried about that. More about the content and the intention behind what we're sharing is really where I want to push a lot of my focus on. So. All right. You wanted to add anything else before we get out of here, baby?
I love you.
I love you too. I love you. We got to do that too. That's going to be one of the things we're going to make. So again, it's PDA. If you're not into that, turn your screen at this moment. I'll give you a PDA warning. I say,
or if you just see us leaving it, that's your warning.
Oh, okay. Love it. They share. So it is for Game Zone Doctor Forever. Okay.
Game Zone Doctor Forever.
Yes. So thank you for sharing that, though. Hey, tune in, man. Tune in. We will be doing this more often. Spread the word if you want to share, if you got more questions to come back, or if at any one point you might think of even sharing your own story, your own experiences about love. You seem to have a lot of deep introspective questions about it. So, yes, Yolanda, it is a great way to end the night. We always make sure that we make that a big part of our relationship, is to make sure the other one knows that they're loved.
Yes,
just like you guys.
Every day, all the time.
Yeah, we like you guys.
We never get tired of it. He's like, I say, I love you. He's like, say it again. I'm like, I love you. Say it again.
Say it again.
I love you. I love you. I love you. And he's like, okay, say it one more time.
Say it one more time.
He loves it when I say it.
I do. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in again. If you want to go check out the book, it is called Love by, hold on, let me pull it up again. There you go. Look at that, baby. Saved you on the screen.
I'm looking
You're
at the
looking
book.
at the book.
I'm looking at the book. There's my love.
Leo Buscaglia. Is that what we said?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go check it out. It's a wonderful book. It's a wonderful read if you want to go check it out.
It's not too long either.
Yeah.
It's a pretty quick
So if you
read.
want to read it, it's available on
Like
Amazon
200
or you
about
can
200 pages.
you can find it on Audible. I'll share the link in the comments after the show. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I do appreciate it. You guys, again, are the reason why we do this. We are so appreciative of any and all the comments and everybody just showing up and sticking around for as long as you have. God,
Yes, that was a long.
it's been wonderful. So we will catch you again very soon. I will start scheduling these so you know that you will. We can have you guys following along, and once I get an email and everything set up, if you want invites, we will create a list as well. We will send you invites every time we do one of these, or we put out new podcast episodes, or just our YouTube channel in general. So, thank you so much again, everybody. Thank you, Yolanda. Thank you, Angelique. Doctor, oh my God, Game Zone, Doctor Forever.
Dr. Forever. Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in with the good questions. You guys, Dr. CJ, Dr. Constance Leland, CJ, for tuning in over there on LinkedIn. You guys are pretty incredible, and we will be back again very, very soon. So until then, you guys have a wonderful rest
Have a good night.
evening, morning, wherever you are, day. And hey, I guess I'm gonna have to come up with a new tagline. I don't want to continue saying live, love, and serve like anybody else. We're gonna change that around for something that we want to share together. So we'll just sign off for now and say thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful night, and stay tuned for more wonderful, wonderful news to come. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.